Hey Young, how you doing, man? I wanted to take you through XD real quick, show you what's happening here. I'm not sure how familiar you are with this program, so I'm not gonna get into any education here or showing you how the user interface works. We can always do a screen share later if you guys have more questions. I just wanted to go over the Discover area for now because that's the part Adam wants you guys to start on. There's all these different areas, but I'm not going to drill into it. You know, Z brings up the Zoom box. So we feel like Discover is pretty safe to start with. Dashboard will probably be at the very end when we have all these areas done. The dashboard will comprise of information we can get from these sections here. So content management is kind of finished. We're like 90% done. Then we're going to get into creators, challenges, rewards, activities. So for now, Discover is a pretty involved area that sort of plugs into all these other sections, so it should keep you busy for a while. While you're working on that, I'm going to continue down the rest of the nav bar here. All right, so I'm going to show you a quick demo here. Here's the new sort of user interface that we're looking at. At the very top, we have our search, where users will be able to click and choose the social media networks they want to search. They are able to search for one hashtag, multiple hashtags. I mean, you guys should leverage as much as possible of the existing Instagram operands that you can. We also had this idea of, for example, you would do hashtag, comma, hashtag, comma, hashtag, and then you would be able to define your search based on that. So the more hashtags you put in, comma separated or space separated, it all depends on what Instagram demands, the more refined your search becomes, right? So we'll get into that, but that's how this works. You've got your overview nav here at the top, which will probably change. This is sort of, in the works. Information, labels, folders, notifications, email, and help. That's what those are. We've got our main nav menu here at the top, which takes you to my profile, settings, account, support, and logout. So that now moved up here. Before, you guys had it sort of in the bottom left corner. We've got our social media networks for Entribe itself, to Entribe's channels, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, all these things, just random links. And the hamburger bar here at the top, the idea here is that if you click this, this bar would actually slide over to the left and only show the icons. So only the icons will be visible. I have a comp of that in XD, I'll show you soon. But that's what this does. And then the logo will also become smaller and only show the red icon with the hamburger next to it. If you click it again, it expands out. That's something you guys can do later. Anyway, getting into Discover, there's all these different menus, and I can show you what the nav system now looks like. You can see how it animates and moves around. I'm not going to get into content management for now. This is what the content management sort of homepage section looks like. But for this video, I just want to focus on Discover. And inside of Discover, you have your icons that show up. If I hover, I get this overlay that I get. If I double click on items, I can actually open them up like this. And when I click the open button, the content should sort of shift down. So I can immediately click on the next image if I want, and it will just sort of reanimate, and the thumbnails will shift around in JavaScript as I'm browsing around the different views. So in this view, I can find similar images. I can message the person. I can click on the icon link here to go to that Instagram profile. There's a couple of minor changes I'm still going to make here related to this pop-up, so just keep that in mind. Like, some icons might disappear. We're not going to do favorite anymore. We're just going to rely on the rating system. So if something is rated 5 stars, it's automatically arranged based on rating. Your filters should sort of automatically arrange based on rating. You can block content you don't want to see. So if there's any sensitive information, you can essentially block that user or block that image. So if you search again in the future, there should be like a block list living in the database that does not show that image again to the user, all right, when they search it. And then the hashtags are broken up into the Instagram hashtags that you get. And these are essentially the Google hashtags you guys are currently using, but we renamed it to now say Entribe AI tags, which is just a nicer way to make it sound more like Entribe technology versus like Google technology, even though we're using Google in the back end to find related hashtags. You guys are already doing this. And this information is all pulled from the Instagram profile, which you can scrape anyway. All right. So yeah, the API is still in the works. There's some delays there with the API, but right now I'm just trying to get the login API approved. But not to get distracted here, but Facebook cannot approve features until they're actually designed for them to look at, which is strange. They expect people to actually do the design in sandbox mode, and then they will look at it and approve it. So, if I click on this image again, I get a full screen view of that. I can see the image in all its glory. Click back out. If I go in here, I can send a message to that person, which comes up with like an auto generated message. You can click generate and get new messages up to 3, 4, 5, which will all just be managed through some CMS. And this is just to help the client quickly send an invitation message to people who want to, people's content they want to use. So this is still in the works. So these are all placeholder stuff here. If I click out here, let's see what else is going on. I can scroll this. You can see how it scrolls under the nav. It doesn't actually scroll the entire page. It scrolls under the nav. That's how the thumbnails are supposed to work. If I click here on some of these images, I can select the ones there's supposed to be some icons popping up here, because the moment I choose more than one, there's a trash can where I can delete or reply or archive or favorite. So those 3 icons are missing at the moment. But, and so single click is obviously select, and then hover click is opening up this view. So just keep that in mind. So that's how that works. Okay, so if I click on filters, you can see here the filter panel come out. I did not prototype competitors trending and shared yet. I only did filters and hashtag for this demo here, but the comps are in XD, so you can get it from there and follow along. We can probably add some more colors here, and we can expand on these filter results later as we want. I mean, it's not set in stone. These are sliders for min-max followers, pretty obvious. People, all photos include people without people. See if you guys can do this. We may need to require some Google tech to figure that out. The media type, obviously images, animated GIFs, videos, depending on what people upload. And the social channels will default to Instagram. It will basically default to whatever was chosen in the original search. So if I search Twitter and Instagram, then this will be Twitter and Instagram, and I can uncheck and only see the results for that. And while I'm in this view, I can actually continue to modify my search. So you kind of have to imagine at this point there is already a search result in this view, and I can add additional keywords to it or remove keywords from it to update this view in real time. If I go into the hashtags itself, these hashtags are predicted based on an API called RiteTag. You should look at that, RITE tag.com. They have a very cool API that allows you to pull related hashtags from Instagram and Twitter. And the way it works is they basically look at your search results, they find the hashtags in those search results, and they start presenting you with additional tags you can click on. So in this case, if I wanted to go and just look at the Instagram hashtags, I would click on that and it would show me the Instagram. Just ignore that, there's a little glitch there in the design. So for example, if I click down here on hotels, I get the hotels tags, but there's an issue here in the demo, Young. This is not supposed to come up. It's supposed to stay on that hashtag view that you just saw. So it will still list the hashtags here, so just disregard this filter results menu. I'm not sure why that's happening. I have various versions of these designs floating around right now. So this shows you the hashtags for hotels. It shows you the number of views per hour that tag gets, the number of tweets per day that tag gets. All this information is coming from RiteTag. I can save this as an Entribe hashtag, which will then put it into my hashtag section here. And these are the same tags you saw earlier. All right. So if I go back here, this is the view I was talking about that should come up when you click on hotels. It shouldn't go back to filter results. So let me just exit this demo here at this point, because not everything has been prototyped. It's more just to show you the look and feel of the nav and where everything is headed. These are the comps where the demonstration is coming from. You can see here at the top, if I zoom back down a bit, here's the nav by itself when it's minimized. There's some standalone assets in here you guys can use. And by the way, in Adobe XD, if you click on this icon here, it actually is called Assets, Shift-Control-Y. It will put you in this view where you can get all the colors used, all the icons used. Everything is exportable as either PNG or SVG, whatever you want. All the different design elements are in here. Okay, so you can go crazy with all this and export whatever you want. The layers view, you shouldn't have to worry about this too much. This works theoretically the same way as Photoshop, where you can hide, you can hide certain items by just hovering over them and they disappear. Some of these are just artboards I use in the prototype, so you don't have to worry about them too much. Let's see, but if I go down lower to these views here, you can see here's the filters that I showed you already. Here's the hashtags view that we just discussed. Here's a comp I did for filter by hashtags, which was just an idea to maybe do filtering in this area versus doing it up on the top. So just ignore this comp for now. You can delete it. We're not going to use this for now. I don't prefer having it up here on the top, okay? So just backup idea if that doesn't work for you guys. Then we've got the competitors, and the competitors is same concept, except here I'm able to add brands that I compete with. In this case, I'm in the hotel industry, Sheraton, Wynn Hotels, Bora Bora, Marriott, whatever I want to put in here. And the technology will automatically find search results for me as I click across these different results. So it's great from a brand perspective. I can log in every day. I can just look at Sheraton, click on it, and I can see all the latest posts from Sheraton, the latest posts from Wynn. We can even build in some notifications that whenever new images show up with those tags, then the owner of this profile will receive email notifications to let them know, Marriott has posted a new image or Marriott Hotels has posted a new image. That might help me as a marketer to see what other people are doing in the space. Okay, so that's what competitors are. Trending, very similar, except trending again is very much relying on the right tag technology I mentioned earlier, the API, looking at searches I do on the site, and then automatically filling in this list with related tags that might be of interest to me. So, I can just come to this page and look at these results by just clicking on each one of these tags, and the area on the right will update. Now, these two columns here on the right on these pages all resemble basically to hide or delete. If I click the little I, then those results will disappear from view. If I click to delete, I actually remove the hashtag from my results, and it completely is removed from view. I can add new. Under shared, this is shares I receive from coworkers or people who have access to the platform. So if I work for an agency, in this case Airbnb, and David and Susan and Adam all have accounts under Airbnb, and they share stuff with me, their shares will appear here. I can click on Susan and I can see all Susan's shares. She may have, more than one image, obviously, that she's sharing. She may be sharing lists with me or whatever she wants, but that's where those results show up if I wanted to get and manage the different shares, and I can delete and hide them as well. So this is the discover area that you guys can start on, and I'm sure you're going to have questions. So let me know if we want to do a screen share and maybe do a little, show and tell on some of these. Happy to do that maybe later this week. Friday will be difficult for me, but we can maybe do it Thursday night if you want, or next week. I'm wide open. Just let me know. Maybe it might be a good idea to go through this and really get all your questions and stuff together before we jump on a call this week, because I know there's quite a lot going on here. I'm not going to jump into these comps lower down because they don't apply yet. I still have to finish all these designs, and we'll get into those later. All right, so good luck, and let me know if you need help. Bye.